Guess what? Another cream bronzer from a drugstore. Hi everybody, my name is Isa and this is Moody Eye Makeup channel. Today I'm gonna talk about new product from Milani. It's newish, I would say, because we get in Slovenia all makeup like 3 months later. But I'm lucky in a sense that it's very popular right now, especially on TikTok, so I wanted to try it out. So this is Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer in the shade Hey Honey. This is, I believe, the lightest shade, but it seems quite dark to me. We will see how it's going to perform and how sheer it is. But if you're interested in the review, then please keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, because most of you are not yet and I don't understand why. So please do so. So I hope you're going to appreciate this, but I'm going to compare it as well with the Catrice Melted Sun Cream Bronzer, which I did a review as well on it last year. Right away, we can compare the size. So the packaging is plasticky. You can see that Catrice is bigger and lighter than the one from Milani. So these are both, I believe, lightest shades. The one from Catrice is Beach Babe. I'm just gonna swatch both of these. This is the one from Catrice. And now the one from Milani. Okay. This is very, very interesting. Even though that the one from Milani looks darker in the pan, I think they look kind of the same in that sense. But the one from Catrice has a tiny bit more of a red pigment. And the one from Milani a little bit more of a yellow pigment. They look actually quite close now that I've blended the one from Catrice as well. Probably you can see my nails. These are professionally done. I was at the manicure for the first time in my life, if you can believe that. Just a fun fact here. But yeah, let's move on to the product. So this one from Milani feels a little bit more creamy than the one from Catrice. So it depends probably in the country that you are, because I think that Milani it's cheaper in USA, but here in Europe it's actually quite an expensive drugstore product, like really expensive. This was 18 euros. I don't know how much is this one, but it's probably around 4 or 5 euros. So this is quite a huge difference here. So I'm gonna use this brush. I'm not sure which one to use, but let's just see how this one is going to perform. If you're very light like I am, this is way too warm. In the summertime, this is probably going to work, but right now this is too orangey for me. So when I'm going to be a bit darker, it's going to look just fine. And you can see that it blends out very easy. I'm using bronzer always somewhere like as a contour and a bronzer at the same time. So don't mind me, because bronzer is usually used only on the high points where the sun would naturally hit you, but I like to use it also on my neck and my jawline. And then we will see how the one from Catrice looks and feels. So yeah, it was super easy to use it. So I have to say that it feels very thin. Also, it feels quite powdery, I must say. So I think that it's going to actually work on every skin type, even on an oily skin, because it has that more kind of a powdery finish to it. It's not very radiant, very like dewy. It feels like it sets itself, or at least on my dry skin, but it's going to actually work on you as well. If you are dry skin, if you have proper skincare and a nice dewy foundation, is going to work as well. But you can see that once I've blended out, it looks okay. It's not like terrible. It's not way too orange, but you know what I mean. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you how my favorite cream bronzer looks. So this one is from Viv. This is English brand. And yeah. And now I'm just going to show you how it looks on the hand. So it goes almost towards a contoury shade, but it's actually way more warm than you would think from the swatch here. So just let's see the contour stick from Catrice. It's even more cool toned. So for my wide days, I would say, so for my winter time when I'm more pale, I absolutely love this shade. I love how dewy it is. It's my trusted cream bronzer. I love it because I can really use it for a bit of shading and a bit of that color. I love it. I would highly recommend it, but you know, it's an expensive item. It's not a drugstore. Now let's try the one from Catrice. So this one feels a tiny bit more dry than the one from Milani. Oh, that was way too much. I totally forgot how pigmented this is. So this is the way you don't want to do your bronzer. Yeah, this is way too dark. This one is just a little bit more pigmented, which is not a good idea for cream bronzer. If you ask me, most people have heavy hand. I usually don't, but for some reason I just went for it. So now it looks better. But yeah, so the one thing that I've already complained about this one from Catrice is that it looks muddy. And I'm not sure why, because they look almost the same, but I know that I went in with way too much product. Like, I wasn't too keen on this one from Catrice last year, and now I'm just remembering why. It just looks too muddy to me. The one from Milani doesn't. It looks too orangey and a bit too dark, but that's it. Otherwise, it blended out way better and it wasn't that pigmented. So sometimes it's so hard to be clever at first because you're using it the first time, the things changes, but I prefer the one from Milani than the Catrice one. I know that the price it's quite up there for a drugstore and I'm not liking that. Right now we can really see the rise of a drugstore prices and I don't agree with that. Drugstore should be drugstore and the prices should be placed accordingly to that. But I think that in some other places, Milani is a cheaper drugstore brand than here in Slovenia. I'm just disappointed that drugstore brands are still doing the bronzers so dark. So for the really pale people, we don't have bronzers. I mean, I know that I'm going to be darker anyway in a summertime and it's going to work for me, but actually I prefer to use bronzer in a springtime when I'm pale and I want to look a little bit sun-kissed than in a summertime when I'm already sun-kissed. So, you know, I think that they should go lower than this. This is not light enough and this is the first complaint. The second complaint is the price. It's ridiculous. Like, I prefer the one from Milani than the one from Catrice, but because of the price differences, maybe go for Catrice. Just use a little bit more of a light hand. If you are very pale, mix it with concealer or foundation if you don't have any other option. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, then please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a lovely day and see you in my next video. Bye.